What's going on, guys? Byron from ETA Kitchen. Now you're probably wondering, what's in this pot? Well, I'm going to show you what's in this pot. We have 3 canning jars. Each of the canning jars, as you can see, is full of water. The pot is also full of water, and we're going to be bringing this up to a rolling boil. Now you're probably asking yourself, why in the world do we want to do this? Well, we're going to make us some hot sauce. Before you begin any fermentation of any sort, you have to sterilize everything. So the jars, you're going to bring to a rolling boil for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, you're going to turn it off. And once the water settles down and it's not boiling anymore, you can put your lids in. But you don't want to boil the lids, because if you do, you're going to ruin these seals, and you don't want to do that. So, next, this is a saltwater fermentation. What that means is we're going to be using a 2.5% solution of salt. I'm using Himalayan salt. You cannot use table salt. You have to use non-iodized salt, pure salt, kosher salt, pickling salt, whatever you want. Himalayan pink salt. There's no iodine in there. And you're gonna need a scale. And you're gonna have to do some basic math, okay? You're gonna take the weight of the water. However, I like to use grams because it's easier. And I'm gonna do it in grams for the video. But if you guys would like to see me do it in ounces, for example, I can do it in ounces. That's fine too. But we're going to take this and we're going to weigh the weight of the water. And after we weigh the water, we're going to go, okay, well, we've got 500 grams of water and we need to put in a 2.5% solution of the salt. So what we're going to do, I'm doing the calculation right now. There's online calculators that do everything for you, so that's kind of a good thing. That's going to be 13.75 grams of salt, which is about a tablespoon, but we're going to measure it because we want precision. When you're doing a fermentation, you have to have a 2.5% brine. If you go less than that, the bad bacteria that you don't want can start to form, and it can actually make you really, really sick. So you don't want to do that. You want to be safe, and I want you to be safe. So we're going to do a 2.5% solution. If you go higher than that, if you go 3%, it's okay. But if you get above 5%, you're just not going to get any fermentation at all, because no bacteria will live. And we want the good bacteria, but we don't want the bad bacteria. So we weigh it so we have the most precise possible measurement. We measure everything because we're going to use science. And we're going to make some whoop-ass hot sauce. So I've got green Thai chilies and I've got red Thai chilies. And these long ones are not Thai chilies. I can't remember what they are, but they're going in there. So this is going to be a simple sauce. Then tomorrow, I've got the pickles and the jalapenos getting delivered. So tomorrow, we're going to go through making a jalapeno hot sauce, which is not super hot, but it's going to be nice. And we're going to make, I've got cabbage coming as well, and we're going to make sauerkraut, and we're going to make some kimchi. So we're going to make all kinds of cool stuff going on. And we're going to get this fermentation station going. Anyway, this is the science behind how to ferment. There's a lot more to it than that, but that's your basic left and right rules. You want to check on your ferment once a day. You want it to be between 60 and 75 Fahrenheit room temperature. And if you go above that, you can start getting into mold, and that's bad. And if you go below that, it just takes a long time. So you want a room temperature between 60 and 75 Fahrenheit. It's ideal. You're going to taste test it after 1 week. You're going to taste test it again the next week. And when it gets where you like the taste, stop. You can go up to 2 months if you really, really want to, but I don't recommend it. Every time I've done this in the past, I've found that 2 to 3 weeks is right about in the target. You can go longer, and I'm going to have one that I'm going to let go for the full 2-month period, just because I want to show you. And the sauerkraut and the kimchi, those are going to go for about 5 days. But anyway, as you check it, you're looking for white stuff at the top. If you start getting white strandy looking stuff at the top, you have to scrape that out and throw it away. White stuff is okay. White stuff is a yeast. You still don't want to eat it, but you just dispose of it. It's not going to hurt you. If you start seeing anything green or blue or anything mold in color, anything that's not white, like white strandy material, you have to throw away the batch and start over. That means you didn't put enough salt, or you leaked air into your ferment. You got to take precautions so you don't have any air in the fermentation while it's going on. That's critical, critical, critical. Anyway, this is everything you needed to know about fermentation, and the next video we're just going to get right into it. So, love you guys. Alrighty, so now we've been boiling actually about 15 minutes. I let it go a little bit. But this is the end of the sterilization. We're just going to let it cool down a little bit because this is hot as Hades. We're going to go ahead and take the lid off very, very, very carefully. And we're watching for when the water stops. When the water stops moving, we're going to put these in so we can sterilize the lids. I'm only going to be using 2 of these 3 jars today. And tomorrow, I'm just going to have to sterilize another one. So the water's almost done. You can see it's still moving a little bit over here. It's moving a little bit over there. We're just going to wait. When the water stops moving, that means it's a safe enough temperature approximately to put these in. And once again, these have a rubber gasket going around the edge, and you want to be able to reuse your lids, so you got to keep it sterile, man. Also, another side note about fermentation, you don't want to use tap water because tap water has chlorine in it. You want to use filtered water. Now, if you live in a house that has a well and has well water, you can use that without any issue. But if you've got a regular, city water connection, it's going to have some chlorine in the water. So if you're cheap, like me, and you don't want to buy filtered water, and you don't want to buy filtered water for your, it's actually not that hot. It's a little bit hot, but not that hot. But if you don't want to buy filtered water for your fermentation, you can fill up a pot with tap water and let it sit. You want to put a cover on it, but let it sit overnight. You want to give it basically as close to 1 full day as you can, so that chlorine will come out naturally. Yes, you can boil it, and that'll help get the chlorine out as well. So if you want to boil it and then let it sit on the counter after it cools, of course, and let it sit overnight, 24 hours, and then use the water for your fermentation, you can do that too. All right, so this is the end of the fermentation intro. So we're just going to show you here. The water has stopped moving, which means the temperature is okay to drop these bad boys in. So I've got a little bit that's sticking up out of the water, and that's going to be okay because it is still nice and steamy, and it's going to get to the temperature it needs to get to. But if you can submerge them completely, submerge them completely. All right, so that's going to sit for at least another 10 minutes. I've still got half an hour before my fermentation lids get here, and I'll walk you guys through that. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Time to start on the actual fun part.